Hi guys, we're here with a new video. In this video, we are on project Epoch. I'm going to hide the chat because we never know if something that should not be said will be said. But I'm going to talk about project Epoch, and I am currently on the test servers, so not test servers, the stress tests, and it's been very good, very good responses. I have 24 ms. They're stressing the servers currently now. They have relaunched multiple times. At one point we had 7k players and I didn't really lag. Obviously with that many players at one spot it does feel a bit choppy, but that's normal. um, I do believe currently that this is going to be the server where I'm going to spend the most time in the near future once it's out. I think if I'm not going to do a bold prediction, I'm going to do a bold prediction right now. It might launch tomorrow. It might even launch Monday with like a couple of servers, and I think it's going to be all right and going very well. I have full trust to Ascension. I don't think they're going to travestite the like Project Epoch because obviously they took it in for a specific reason, which is the Classic Plus, not RAV Plus kind of like crowd. And if you do a lot of changes towards the shop and whatnot, you're going to most likely pull them away from what it was supposed to be. So it's a great thing. I personally think that right now, having played just a bit with this one and also previously when it was from Project Epoch without Ascension, there is so much potential. I think the class changes are not exaggerated, quite subtle actually, compared to like its other competition, which is Bronzebeard and I would say Turtle WoW. I think the quests are really well made. For the little quests I have done, I felt like it was very good. I've seen a lot of the profession stuff, and I feel like, okay, this time around, I'm not going to go for full gold making, which is skinning and I would say herbalism or mining. That's what I do normally at the launch. What I'm going to do is most likely if I'm a warrior, for example, I'm going to go blacksmithing because it feels like I'm going to have the most value by making my own blue items, my own blue sword that is going to be carrying me through the leveling. um, I think I'm going to soak also as little information as possible. Obviously, I'm going to live stream or I'm going to make videos about Project Epoch. I'm going to spoil people most likely, but I definitely will not spoil myself. I'm not going to go for the meta builds. I'm not going to go for the meta route. I'm not going to go for the best questing route possible. I'm going to go my own pace because I felt like by playing with my dwarf shaman on the Gurubashi server, once it was like live. And once I have played on like here right now my rogue, I even did like just one custom quest, which is this one. I feel like there's so much potential in enjoying the game for what it is instead of like trying to like min max to the end game. I'm not going to do that this time around. I have plenty of friends that are going to go into Project Epoch as well. So I felt like, okay, I'm not going to go blind and alone with people, like without people I know. I'm going to have a great time and playing it as if it was the first time ever I played Classic because it felt like that. I feel like the new quests, the new things that they changed, like for example, Goldshire has been changed drastically with a lot of new houses, new crossroads, I would say. Um, it feels like you have plenty of potential of actually being like, oh, I have never seen that before, kind of thing. Except the gameplay, which the gameplay is kind of the same and a bit less straining because they do the TBC thing and extra custom spells here and there. For example, Bladestorm from Arms Warriors. um, I still think like you can enjoy the game and be very blind about it. You don't need to like search for the best professions. You don't need to search the best build to level. I'll be most likely making those videos because again, those videos are like click worthy and most likely are going to be interesting for the vast like majority of the players. But me myself, I'm going to go very blind, and I actually like recommend you guys to do the same. You don't need to click directly on my guides on my routes or on my how-tos directly. You could also just test it for yourself, and if you're like feeling, okay, now I can learn something to be more efficient, then click on those videos. That's what I'm going to do personally. And I'm looking very forward on the popularity of Classic Plus Project Epoch. Um, I don't think they're going to do anything until like Gamescom regarding Classic Plus for Blizzard. So I'm not going to be waiting for them. If they don't do anything Classic Plus related, well, it is on them, not on me. I feel like I'm a customer. I think a lot of people are waiting like that. They are a customer, like customers. I am a customer. If I want to eat a steak and the 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 company where I'm going has no steak, well, I'm going to find somewhere else to eat a steak. If I want to have Classic Plus and the company that normally should have Classic Plus doesn't have Classic Plus, me as a customer, I am going to look for a Classic Plus alternative. Is it like stealing property or stealing the IP of Blizzard? Technically, I think legally, most likely it is. But the truth is, as a customer, you don't care about that. What you care about is to be filled your needs, your need that you want must be filled somehow, some way. And I'm not hurting anyone. I think nobody's hurting anyone by going on private servers. That is just to discuss the many people that do are against private servers. Personally, I am not against private servers, but I do believe that if Classic Plus releases from Blizzard, I'll be most likely going for that because it is like the official one. I want to see how they are doing it, and obviously I'm going to give a chance towards the original creators instead of like private servers. That's okay. But currently, that alternative doesn't exist. Don't tell me SOD is not Classic Plus, has never been labeled as Classic Plus, have been disconnected, which it is normal because it is a stress test. Truthfully, can I do the sound here? Nice. Truthfully, like, if there is no alternative, you should maybe flock towards it if you are really desiring and like Classic Plus. Now, that's not to say that I don't want TBC. I want TBC to happen. I want to play TBC, but I already said multiple times if they are not doing any changes towards like the PvP system, which is the conquest, which Project Epoch has for some reason, but it is conquest, so it's going to be way better to gear up and way more fair towards alts. If TBC doesn't do any changes towards like the PvP, like with the arena points, and like instead it should be conquest, should remove teams. If they're not doing any class changes, which again it's probably normal, but if they do class changes, I would be like more inclined to say, oh, TBC is very interesting. They need to change a lot of stuff. I don't think if they keep it like TBC that people are going to stay for very long. That's how I feel. I feel like people are having like a lot of the TBC fever dream right now, which truth is a lot of people left very quickly when TBC released. So I don't feel like it's going to be very, very different. I'm talking about like the 2021 release of TBC. So for me, Classic Plus, if it's done like right, because right now I do feel like it's right, it just is the server problem. But if the server problems are fixed, this is going to be my new home for a very long time. Like Miss Pandaria, I'm enjoying it, but truth is, it feels a bit empty. Is it empty? It feels a bit aimless. A bit feels like it doesn't fulfill me. Let's call it like that. Retail doesn't fulfill me either. Like I tried it again. I don't feel like I'm enjoying myself. Like it feels a lot of the bloat from like the damage, how you do the pets, the summons, the many AoE abilities, the many debuff slots, the many buffs, like self buffs, like as a unique character that you can have. It feels kind of dumb. A lot of the procs, I don't like that. And Classic Anniversary, I like it, but truthfully, um, I'm kind of waiting for Phase 6. I'm kind of waiting for TBC. I'm actually waiting the most for Classic Plus. And Classic Plus right now, I don't need to wait. I could play Project Epoch once it's out, Hell, if Project Epoch suddenly doesn't exist anymore, there is still Turtle WoW, although I'm not really a sucker for the client, it's still there. Bronzebeard can come out and it is more of a RAF plus kind of thing, in my opinion. It's not really classic plus, it's more of a RAF plus to me. Why not? But I invite you guys to join me on Project Epoch. I'm going to play on Gorobashi, most likely. Now, could be on the second PvP server if they do come out, because I want to play. I don't want to sit queues, especially like very long queues. I do believe like Gorobashi is going to be a healthy population. Hopefully they do the faction log how they are supposed to do. I'm going to roll on Horde. We decided with my friends to go Horde, because most likely on a real Classic Plus release we're going to go Alliance. So to be a bit different and to have a complete blind experience, because to be fair, Classic Horde has never been like done 1 to 60 by me. I always did Horde in RAF and onwards. So it's going to be completely new and it's going to be fresh as well. Now the class, I want to go Shaman. Truth is, I could also say F it and go Warrior again. I don't know. I could also say, look, F it again, and I'm going Mage, or I'm going like Warlock. Still think like Classic, if you play a melee, you have the most satisfaction because you do get like better upgrades very fast, like weapon upgrades and whatnot. They feel really good in Classic. Where a caster, it feels very good once you're like very full gear and you're level 60 and you have your spell power. At that point, it becomes like very, very much of a powerhouse kind of thing. And I'm thinking about PvP. Well, Rogue could be interesting, especially like on a PvP faction, like a PvP server. I could be like being a bit scummy, especially since Assassination Rogue is buffed on this server compared to like, let's say, a normal Classic. Even like, let's say, TBC. I could also say, look, I'm going to go for full subtlety and just like level with subtlety. That's also an option. I could also say F it. I'm going to go Druid again, but Druid, like the weapon upgrades are going to be there obviously, but it's like different because you don't really show it once you're like in cat form. But it could be fun because then I can heal, I can go tank, I can go DPS, I can go also like a custom mode which is balanced Druid. Why not? But I'm actually like feeling like a kid again, where I don't know how I will be deciding my class. So yeah, I am very faithful. It could be cope towards Project Epoch, but I'm going to go dive in, and if they release it tonight, then it's bon chance. I'm going to make probably a live stream about that. If it's tomorrow, that's also fine. If it's Monday, it's also fine. If it's like next week, I'm also fine with it, as long as it's like releasing correctly with like as little crashes as possible. There will be crashes because it's custom content. They will find custom content at one point that will crash the server. It's pretty much of a guarantee, because it has not been tested 1 to 60. It has been tested for lower levels. So I do believe like they're going to work on it. But if you can actually level and reliably like enjoy your time while you're leveling, then that's a big W. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day and good luck with the launch. I hope it will launch very soon. I'll be for sure posting once it's launched and giving my thoughts once I'm actually playing more than 30 minutes on the server at a time. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.